Good afternoon, and a big warm welcome to Travel Think 2009. I'm Robin Frewer. I'm the industry leader for the travel team here at Google. I'd like to start off, first of all, just by thanking everybody here in the audience for your custom over the last few years. But also, thank you for taking the time to be with us today. I appreciate this is a very busy time for the travel industry in terms of preparation for Christmas, New Year, and also the all-important Q1. Now, I'd imagine there's not a single person here in the auditorium that since the last time we had Travel Think 18 months ago thinks that business has been a breeze. And let's look at what we've been through. We've seen a collapse in the banking system. The UK and a lot of the Western world has gone into deep recession. The UK has yet to come out of it. The pound has got a lot weaker against the euro and the dollar, two of the most important travel venues for the UK travel industry. We've seen businesses cut back on business travel across the board. The price of fuel's doubled in the last year. All in all, it adds up to making the travel industry a very difficult area to work in. So some businesses have actually done well out of it, out of changing consumer trends. Some have actually really struggled, and unfortunately, some businesses have failed. Now, today is about thought leadership, so I don't want to dwell on the gloom and doom of the last 18 months. We all know that's happened. I want us to be positive and look forward to the future about some of the opportunities that are out there. So there are a couple of underlying themes for today's event, and those are the future of travel. So what are the opportunities that exist out there? What are the challenges that a business is going to face up to? But also, what are the business models that are going to work in the future? So those are some of the areas we're going to discuss this afternoon. Also, very closely aligned to that is innovation. And we talk about if you stand still, you go backwards. I think in the modern digital world, I think we can take that a step further. If you move forwards, but slowly, you still go backwards. You've got to innovate and innovate at speed. So we're going to be looking at how to innovate to capture the consumer. What are the products that consumers need? What are the destinations they're going to go to? What are the services they need? So innovation is going to be core to a lot of the discussion this afternoon. Now, I'm not going to take you through the agenda. You've all got a copy of that in your pack, but I'd just like to point out a couple of the speakers. We've got a great lineup of speakers for you. We've got Dr. Patrick Dixon. Now, he is the chairman of Global Change Limited. Patrick is widely regarded as Europe's leading futurologist, if not the world's leading futurologist. So funnily enough, he's going to be talking about the future for us. There's no surprises there at all. We've got Richard Seymour from Seymour Powell. He is one of the co-founders of one of the world's leading design and innovation agencies. So he's going to be talking to us about his views of innovation and how we can actually engage with consumers and actually shape markets for the future. And he's got a great panel of industry experts that work on innovation, but also people from outside of the industry. They're going to be talking about how we can actually better improve our businesses going forward. We've also got another panel after the break. Guy Gillen, he's the Director of Travel at PricewaterhouseCoopers. And what Guy doesn't know about travel, to be honest, it probably isn't worthwhile knowing. Guy is going to be talking to some of the best industry experts from a broad range of areas across the industry, looking at what the future challenges are and what the business models are likely to be that are going to win going into the future. Last but not least, this afternoon, we've got Ben Schott. Now, Ben you probably know as author of Schott's Miscellany and Schott's Almanacs. Ben is also a journalist that writes regularly for The Times and the New York Times. And he's going to be talking to us about information, the power of information. He's going to be talking about miscellany. He's going to be talking about taxonomies and structures of data. He's also going to be talking about fuzziness and then linking it back to the world of travel. Absolutely fascinating talk. Really looking forward to that. I've got just a couple of housekeeping points I need to make. If anybody's got a mobile phone, I'd very much appreciate it if you could either turn it onto silent, onto vibrate, or, God forbid, even turn it off for an afternoon. I really appreciate it if we don't disturb the speakers with mobile phones left on. I'm just thinking if I turn mine off. Secondly, in the highly unlikely event that there's a fire alarm, on both sides of the auditorium, we have fire exits, so if you hear an alarm, please calmly make your way out of the building. And last but not least, inside your information packs, you should have a feedback form. We very much appreciate your comments. Last year, we got a lot of comments back, and we've reshaped the Travel Think event to hopefully make it a better event for you. So, for example, if you look at the introduction, you see Robin Frewer, please tick 5-star, and then you'll get an invite back for next year. Okay, before we get going with today's agenda, I'd just like to run two very quick videos. And this is really just to remind everybody of what's happened in the last 18 months and how the whole travel landscape has radically changed. Could you play the first video, please? should have told you to fasten your seatbelts before we watch that video. But what we can see from that is the whole landscape's radically changed very quickly, and there are clearly some opportunities out there. But what is important, if we're going to innovate, we have to understand our consumer. So we've undertaken a few vox pops just to really understand consumer sentiment, and it makes for some really interesting viewing. Can you play the second video, please?
The last time I went to Europe, the euro was extremely strong and it was very, very expensive, and I would probably avoid going anywhere of the euro and probably the dollar as well at the moment.
It's been difficult now to go to America because it's not as cheap as it used to be. A year and a half ago it was half price basically, now it's a lot more.
It's got to be good value for money, so if I will pay a bit extra if I think I'm getting a good deal for that. Yeah, I've probably done less travel this year than I would normally. I like to go away at least 3 or 4 times during the year, and next year I'm hoping to do that again, but this year it's only been twice.
I suppose it depends on what you're looking for, but probably I'd say last minute holidays are usually cheaper.
Tend to get more bang for your buck. You tend to get a better value deal at last minute. I also quite like the surprise element of not knowing where I'm going till about a week before.
I tend to find them in the January sales because the last minute ones, you never know really where you're going to end up.
Next time we'll probably downgrade a hotel because when we did go to Greece in summer, our hotel was quite expensive, and then we found like little rooms that were just as good, very cheap.
I sort of pick a destination that I want to go to, and then on any sort of search engine I'll just type in cheap holidays in X, Y or Z, and then just sort of take it from there.
I think people prefer doing research because it's on the internet, because it's within their control, and they feel a little bit more pressured if you go into a sort of a travel agent.
I like the fact that you can kind of do it out of hours. I don't have to pay for my parking and come between 9 and 5, or on a Saturday when it's really busy. I can have a quiet Sunday afternoon and have a surf through and see if I can find something I like, or have a free hour one evening and look and book when I want to.
Tend to travel economy now for business as opposed to business class. Spend a lot more time looking for different airfares.
I think it's just more about teleconferences, doing a lot more video conferences rather than shipping people out. I think it will be cautious. It will definitely be cautious because, yeah, things may feel like they're getting a little bit better, but I still think it's 2010 is going to be a tight year. I have been to a travel agent, not this year, but last year. I would potentially, but again, if you can get it all online, why would you bother, really?
Experience and lack of confidence, I suppose, and somebody will help you through that. But actually, I can't think of anybody that goes to a travel agent anymore. Any of my friends, my parents, my family, none of them have booked their holidays through travel agents. Oh, except my parents who use Travel Bag.
Good old Travel Bag, eh? So again, it's clear to see from that in the downturn, it's really forced some quite rapid changes. Consumers now really do sort of trust information online. They actually value being able to research when they want to. So there's some changing patterns there, but there's also this underlying theme of caution. So I think it's a responsibility of travel businesses to innovate, to look for new opportunities for consumers, to take them forward and to keep people keep people traveling. Now, I genuinely believe for those businesses that really do understand the power of the online world and that understand the technology that's available and are willing to trial and test it at speed, and those businesses that actually embrace the consumer and try and understand what their needs are so they can innovate and evolve their products, I think there are some great opportunities in the future. So on that note, I'd actually like to hand you over now to Mr. Matt Britton. He's our Managing Director for Google UK and Ireland. And Matt's going to be talking to you about how to make your businesses greater with data. Now, thank you once again for myself. I really hope you enjoy the afternoon. I hope you find it both thought-provoking but also inspiring. Thank you very much.